you're perfectly fine. Welcome to the Musicmandir podcast number 18. If I'm right. Yeah. We're super excited to have you on board. And we'd like to start away straight away. Is that okay?
Okay. Yes, let's go.
Okay, cool. So, Six Society, brilliant new album. Congratulations. It sounds monstrous. Okay, really enjoyed it. So, we were just talking prior to this, and we were extremely curious, knowing that this was recorded mid-pandemic and remotely.
Yeah.
How does one even put together a record that sounds so big and sounds so good while recording it remotely? Because it just feels like normally when a rock band does record stuff, they're always in the studio. There's so many things happening. How does one go about it remotely?
Okay, so the thing is, in this band, everything is in-house. In-house in the sense we have the guitarist, then I do the bass, drums, and do the mix and master. So that is also in-house, and Kiran does the artwork. So every band has the problems like who will mix and master. They'll have to give it outside, and who will do the artwork. That also they'll have to give it outside. So we have all that in-house. So we are sorted with all that like difficulties which might come after recording the album.
Right.
So that is one thing that helps us a lot. Then the next thing is recording the album. How we work out is that Hari and me works out the guitar parts and we send it to Kiran. Kiran will be working out the vocal lines and writing the lyrics and sends it to us, and we discuss, and we finally came out with a good output, I guess. Yeah.
But is it more difficult for you guys to sort of do it this way rather than just jamming out?
So this
together?
is a question we used to get a lot. We have got the same question a lot. So in this question, we only have to say, for us, it is easier. We don't know how, but it is easier for us. Usually when the jamming stuff happens, what happens is we'll have to listen to everybody's inputs, and sometimes it might not work out. Sometimes that works out most, but sometimes that doesn't work out when we take in all the, the ideas of the thing is, in a band, everyone might not be following the same music. They'll be following different music genre. So in this band also that happens. Like my brother is the keyboardist, so he listened to a lot of electronic music, and Kiran is a guy who listens to proper rock and roll. Me and Hari, we are like more into progressive stuff.
Okay,
so
which sort of comes out very nicely in the album.
It sort of comes out very nicely when we are doing it remotely from different places, but that might not might not be the case if we jam together and make music. Might not, or it might, but for us this works perfectly fine.
That's cool.
All right. There's another question, obviously, which we want to ask. Like, there's a very little difference, very little space between the previous EP and the one that has just come out, right? And once again, like middle of the pandemic, this is like super fast by any standards. How did you guys manage to pull that off? Because nobody sort of puts out an EP and within 6 months puts out another album, unless it's like some sort of a double album. They already had songs recorded previously. So how is that? How did you guys make that happen?
I'll tell you about a goal we are trying to achieve. So by this December first week, that by the November end, it will be proper 1 year after Six Society has been formed. So we are trying to reach a goal where we finish doing 24 songs. We actually will be done with 25, including the bonus tracks we have done. So that is the next thing we are coming up with, is a single song, which I mentioned you earlier. That is a Malayalam single track. Yeah. So after that, we are going for a 12-track album, which is like the pretty biggest thing we have ever done. So with that 12-track album, we are going to be done with 25 songs. So that is what we are looking for right now.
That's the reason you guys like sort of really pushing it.
Yeah. And it's not like we are sitting and, like stressing out to make music and finish doing song. It is like one day we'll have a good mind, like me and Hari will be having a very good vibe, and that day we'll just complete one song off. That's how we usually do.
Wow. I have one last question before I move on. That actually means that since you guys were formed last year November, you almost immediately put out an EP.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and because I know that you all come from different bands altogether. How easy or difficult was that? Like coming together and immediately putting something out. Like I know 6 months is a good enough time at your pace because you guys are working really aggressively. But I'm assuming when you guys came together and then you put out something in December, right? If I'm not mistaken.
December.
Weird Relay. And that is a very short time for a bunch of people who have probably never played together to come up with something. So how did that happen? The same process?
So initially how it happened was me and Kiran, the vocalist, started speaking to each other about music. He was a drummer initially, but then he started singing, randomly started singing pretty nicely. And I always wanted randomly started, like putting videos in Instagram. And that too, usually when people start singing, they'll always go for the, commercial songs to get girls. That's what usually happens when suddenly some
John
people start singing.
And
John Mayer, all the that factor
somebody
songs.
I used to know, and
Exactly. But then this guy was completely against all of that and doing songs with grunges. Those kind of songs, but with grunges. That was something what I was looking for. It's not the screams that metal people do, but it's something that is there in the rock and roll from heart. So when I saw him do that, we started discussing about music, and we had the same vibe in putting out something together. So like when we spoke, he was like, we should be fast in doing things. And I was like, I am a guy who does fast, so we should do it fast. So that sort of stuff came. Like what he thinks, I'll be saying, what I think he'll be saying.
Oh, lovely. So there's a synergy between
came for both of us.
That's so cool because sorry, you were saying something. Go ahead.
So what we did was we just made one song in like 2 days, and that song, when I arranged the guitars and did the bass guitar and I sent it to him, he was like, this is kind of a pleasant song, and I don't want it to be pleasant. Let the song be pleasant, but do it in the straight opposite way, the music in the straight opposite way. So that was the time when, okay, this is going to help me as well. I had that feeling, and that song was called In Search of Me. That is the third song in the first EP. So in that song, pads and keyboards were must. So I called my brother and told him to record keyboards and stuff. So he did that beautifully. So he did that beautifully. Then that one song was done in like 4 days, exactly 4 days. So from there, it was like tuck, tuck, tuck. Everything was going, very smoothly, and we completed the album in like less than 1 month. It was pretty good. Yeah.
Wow. You guys work incredibly fast for a band. I don't think there are a lot of. I don't know honestly, but I don't think bands put out music of that quality that fast, and also executed so flawlessly. So that's kudos, man. But do you think but do you on a serious note, do you think that comes from you guys already being pretty established musicians, being in the indie scene?
Not at all, actually. It is not because of that. It is just that we have that mindset of never stop creating the songs that we have from our heart. So we all have that rock element, that pure rock element, which was there in the 80s and 90s in our hearts. But we were not able to put out music like that because of the scenes that we face. The scenes people not liking. People, as in random people, always go for the songs which, have that commercial factor in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which they can always vibe into, they can put it at any time, and that which has electronic items, lot of electronic items. So we had to make sure there's no electronic items in our songs. It is just raw music, how a band would play outside. We had to get that in the recording as well.
And I'm assuming that might have gotten more difficult now that hip hop is on a rise in India. So it's already less and less people. I don't, maybe I'm wrong, but like the kind of stardom that a lot of rock bands had, right? It's sort of being shifted away to other people, right? Like who are rappers or
yes,
there are new names coming up. Yeah. So
but the thing is, when we released our EP and the last single before this album which got released, we had a single called Entedhalla, which is a Malayalam song. So that came out in Rolling Stones with all the hip hop songs. So we were happy for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they featured many singles and most of them were hip hops, but with that our pure rock stuff came out. So we were like, okay, we are on the right direction, bringing up rock back. It's not going worse. It's going good.
Yeah. So, when I was listening to the album, Jatin, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. My bad. So I was again curious on, the aspect of you guys balancing, say, Malayalam songs and English songs, and also maybe I'm not sure if the band also releases music in other languages, but how does that dynamics work? Is there like a conscious decision that?
So that we have talked a lot and we have decided. So the thing is, we have a lot of Malu crowd because we are Malayalis. We are from Kerala and Bangalore, so we have a lot of Malu crowd. And in the Kerala scenes also, in the commercial way, what is happening is covers are coming up very badly in the sense there are more, like 1,000 more covers than one original in Kerala scene.
Right.
So we had to make sure not only the Indian indie Western music comes out, in the pure Western music comes out, but also in Malayalam, how we can do songs in Malayalam also should be out to the crowd.
Right.
Yeah. So we had to we did a lot of discussion and we decided, okay, if it is like one album, one Malayalam song, one album, one Malayalam song, then that's how we are going to do. So we thought about it. So
okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So that is quite interesting actually. So I'm assuming that you guys sort of grew up on bands like, or at least took inspiration from people like Avial and all. Because
our Malayalam songs are true inspiration from Avial, because they are like that one band which showed the state pure rock can happen here.
I think some of the performances are the best performances recorded on
ever till now. I don't think another band have come above. It's not in the production quality, but in the music quality. Music quality, that is like
production
pure
quality.
rock.
Yes. Production quality with bands like, albums like Bloody Wood by Pentagram and all were like really slick when it came to production and all. But like in just terms of pure rock, putting it out there, I think what Avial was doing was just mind-blowing.
It is exemplary. Yeah.
Yeah, it is mad.
Yeah.
It is mad.
It is true. So they are one of our inspirations, biggest inspirations from the south side. But about after out of India, we are David Maxim is one of our biggest inspirations. We have a lot of inspirations. We come with David Maxim is the production quality we are aiming to reach. That is one thing. Then recording quality, we are trying to be and reach like Greta Van Fleet, who just put out an album last month with 12 songs. They are also
amazing. Guys who are like a replica of Zeppelin almost, right? That's what they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very similar sounding.
Sounds so much like Robert Plant, that guy.
But the crazy thing is that they're like kids. You're like almost.
Exactly. But then from that 80s, 80s of Zeppelin, they have in this 2020 they have put the bell bottom pants and done the 80s are back, that swag
for sure
thing.
I absolutely love it when those guys make it big. Like Wolf Mother did the same thing like a few years ago, right?
Yes.
When they just came out like with all out rock, like the first 2 albums. So it was just like unbelievably good music.
And the another interesting fact is that they have recorded the album live. So that is also, we were saying like we should at least record one single, like whole band playing live and recording the same stuff. Like if mistake happens, let it be there.
That can absolutely.
Yeah.
So
we should. That
sounds so cool, man.
The
thing is like when recording live happens, like slight mistakes will be there, but that will be very beautiful actually. In this 12 songs Greta Van Fleet album, it is there. Like small mistakes are there, but that is pure beautifully, like pure rock from soul.
There is an album.
it
There is a
feels
song I just
authentic,
want
right?
to put out. Yeah, I want to put out one piece of trivia which is like really crazy to me. There's a song by Nirvana called "Return of the Rat." I don't know if
Okay.
you guys remember. And there's
Okay.
literally Kurt Cobain singing the song, and in the middle of the song he starts coughing. Okay, and they
Okay.
recorded the whole damn thing. Like it's on tape, right? Like
Okay.
he goes,
Yeah.
and is this proper coughing? And he just records it on the tape. So I thought
Okay.
that was pretty
Yeah.
crazy. And like
Yeah.
it's sort
Yeah.
of the beauty of recording it live, so to speak.
Correct. Yeah. So we are looking for that, that live quality recording sessions. We are
So
looking for
that'll be really awesome because it's not a easy thing. I mean, I think
not at all an easy thing. Yeah.
yeah, and no musicians genuinely want to do it because that will just bring out their flaws. And so like everyone's trying
Exactly.
to cover their flaws. So the fact that you guys are even thinking in terms of doing something like that, it speaks about like a feeling that's greater than the music. It's more beyond than the finished product, but it's just a couple of guys having fun, recording music,
Exactly. Yeah.
which is
And
super cool.
the two shows which we had, that was the first time we all played together, and that was the most funnest shows I had ever had. Like I played
What
with a
shows?
lot of bands.
What shows
So
were
we
those?
did it amidst pandemic. We did show in Hard Rock Cafe and Rasta Cafe, Bangalore.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so they were ticketed shows and to a very limited audience. Around
Right.
like only 80 to 100 people max came, but
Right.
the show was crazy. We all had pretty much fun because we did not play like covers. We played our own songs. So
Yeah.
that to the songs which we remotely did from different places, we had to come
Yeah.
to one place and do it together. So that was fun.
I've always been interested about, especially the rock scene or hard rock scene in South India, primarily because I've always genuinely felt that the quality, or not even the quality. I mean, if you look at bands like Mother Jane and Avial, and so many more. Even Thaikuddamn Bridge. I was in college studying in Coimbatore when I hadn't heard of Thaikuddamn Bridge, and then that was suddenly people were sharing music, and I was like, oh my god, what is this fusion of music that's happening? I've always felt a very strong sense of originality that comes out from like rock and fusion from the south. Uh, could you like just broadly talk about what the scene is like now? Do you think, like, compared to 5 or 10 years, it was better, or is it more diversifying now? Is it more interesting? How do you guys kind of sense something like that?
Okay. The in the south, actually, we are like like, other than creating one Malayalam song in 3-4 months, we are not into south. Okay, what we are
Right.
trying to reach is to the north and then out of India. So that is what we are looking for.
Yeah, no,
For sure, man.
that's
Yeah.
fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the 5-10 years, like you have told, I don't think a better band than Avil has come from the south.
Right. Right.
But that is personal choice.
Of course,
only
yeah.
my personal thing. But then, yeah, that's what we believe. Not only that is not only my thing. We all say that always. Right?
Yeah, okay.
Have you
Okay.
hung out? Have you hung out with them? Have you had a chance to meet the members of Abin?
Aviel, our last single track Entedhalla was released by the guitarist of Aviel Rex. So he officially released it. Yeah. So we sent it to him and asked him whether he could release it, and he was like, "This music is good. I will release it. Okay, I will officially
That's
release it
honor,
on
man.
my
That's
page."
just beautiful. Man.
That was what we were. That was one of our goals. We have done that. We got that.
It's out of the bucket list.
Yeah, out of the bucket list. Correct.
Very interesting.
There's another thing that Jatin and I usually discuss with most of the guests that come on the show, and it's usually has become a standard question. One of the more serious questions is like, what do you guys think of like how streaming services like compensate the artists in this country? And we've been surprised by different answers that different people have given. So I just wanted to know what your thoughts are, given that like now you guys are looking to sort of release 24, 25 songs over the course of next few months.
Yes.
How do you intend to sort of, like what do you look at from revenue point of view? How do you look at the whole thing panning out for you?
Okay.
And do you think
So,
it's fair?
Yeah, so what we have actually planned is that with this 24 songs, that is after one more single, a 12 more songs album.
Yeah.
With that, we are at least going to take a 1 year break because we did the maximum a band can do in 1 year, we believe. I don't think like it might be my I don't have the knowledge or something, but then I don't think a band in India have released this much songs in a year. So
yes, crazy.
So we have decided not in a year we are going to create one more song. What we are exactly going to do is promote each of our songs, as in create videos, like promote our first EP which got released, and like selected songs also. We thought we should do a remastered version of every selected songs from EP, single, and the other 2 albums.
Okay.
So we are only planning to promote on what we have already released in a year in the next coming year.
Right.
And through this promotion, I think we have not only myself, like we have understood that only proper promotion helps a band. Like how much we put in gives us back. That is what we have understood.
In terms of promotion, yeah. Have you guys signed on with somebody?
We have not yet signed on with somebody, but then we recently saw like Wink Music is starting to sign like as in record label wise. So we just sent them a mail 3 days back, and we are waiting for them reverting.
Okay. So no tentative plans on touring or performing live or something like that at the moment.
Performing live, we actually just before the second phase of the COVID hit, we just got an inquiry after the Rasta Cafe show from a team called Neoskits, and we were supposed to play the next show on it's over already. It was supposed to happen on March 24th. Okay. But then so we are waiting for them to call back once the COVID settles down.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And of course, we are going to, once the COVID settles down, that's what we are going to get shows, and we'll take shows no matter what.
Yeah, if you are taking a break, might as well actually go and perform the songs.
Yeah, exactly. That break is only in creating songs. We'll be doing shows.
Right.
Yeah.
So does mastering and post-production and all of that stuff also happen internally through you guys, or does it go out?
Yeah. So the thing is, in the when the pandemic hit the first time, in the few months before we formed the band, I sat and learned through online properly mix and mastering, like production stuffs. And I got few works before the album in luck to work and get experience in doing mix and master. So I was able to get it decently, work decently and put out a good quality stuff.
Yeah, because it definitely shows on the album. It sounds great. So which is why I was, I wanted to ask the question.
Yeah. So I learned it for good.
So you learned it by yourself, all of it by yourself?
Yeah,
from scratch.
It's from online, yeah.
Lovely, man. That's insane. I fucking love people who are autodidacts, who just learn everything themselves. Yeah. And because of internet, in the Indian scene has sort of become so much better quality-wise because all these really cool people doing everything by themselves. Yesterday we had First Culture, Sharma. And he has pretty much done everything by himself. And you just listen to him and you're like, this is the work of a bigger band. But it's all just one guy. Just it's so scary, but it's so cool. And you sort of feel proud of these people, You're like, wow,
the thing is, in time, we get to understand that we can't be dependent on getting our music out.
True.
If we get, if we become dependent, we'll never get or say, if I had not learned mix and mastering, none of this will be out right now. We'll be, arguing with the mix and master guy, that is not good, this is not sounding good, you can make that better. And it won't come out, it will take years. to get the
Correct.
perfect sounding you're looking for. Yeah. So since I've learned that, I'll be like doing the mix first and sending like to Kiran, Hari, and my brother, and they'll be saying some suggestions. And it will be like within 2 weeks or 1 week max, we'll be done with all the songs mixed and mastered.
All the suggestions
With all
are
the
taken
suggestions,
into
with all the suggestions taken in. Yeah.
That's breakneck pace, man. I mean, it's insane. Actually, it's staggering. Actually, how fast you guys are going. For that, I would just like to wish you like all the best, because nobody does work like that. You're correct when you estimate that you guys probably are producing songs at the fastest rate in the scene, which is nuts. I have one last question. It's a very weird question, but I really want to get it out of my head. Is that I know for a fact that the Malayalam film industry is like sort of being known to be cutting edge right now.
Yeah, they are
it is
improving.
right. Do you guys see?
Fast.
Yeah, do you guys see some of your music being used in some of those, like the Malayalam music essentially being used in those movies? Do you see that happening right now? Because I'm not aware of this game. That for me is a very interesting question.
Actually, these kind of indie Western kind of music is starting to get into Malayalam films. The recently, like not last year, 2 years back, there was a movie called Kumbalangi Nights. So in that, they had a very nice English song. So that was, we all were surprised with that.
So they're opening up, like completely.
Yeah, they're opening up very, very, very drastically. They are widening the, like genres and regions of music in the film, and also the kind of film. Also, that one film, we all loved it very much because it had all emotions. Like it was very a wide movie. It had happiness, family, sadness, love, what all you name it. Like they had all the emotions in that one movie. So we were like mindset.
Yeah, I have downloaded like some 10 movies over the course of last 2 weeks. And the idea is to like people have recommended saying that you really need to watch these because this thing is amazing. This is ahead of Bollywood and everybody. Anyways, like Bollywood is not a great standard to begin with. But yeah, like these movies are way ahead. And I was like, yeah, I mean, if these guys are thinking ahead in those terms, then might as well actually think about getting bands to play for the movies, movies.
Aviel have actually done for movies, like songs for movies.
Lovely.
Okay.
Yeah, they I think have done for 3 movies or something, and even Thaikuddam have done for 1 movie.
Okay.
Oh,
so
awesome.
Speaking of movies, do members of the band also work on other commercial projects, maybe film or scoring or commercials or something like that?
Except for my brother and the rhythm guitarist, that is Ashok, who we call for live, that he is also from Thaikuddam. So except for both of them, none of us are doing anything except this kind of music. They both are actually doing some commercial stuff.
Okay.
They both are married.
Okay. No, I only asked because there's a lot of independent music and being in the music making business is a tough business. So it is a tough
business. So what I have understood is without having like in my case, I teach online drums.
Okay.
So at least monthly, I know I will get this much. So that is like a guarantee stuff for me. So I can do only my music and survive with it. So that is fine for me.
Yeah, of course. So that was the idea, because a lot of people, like the idea of playing music and, playing performances.
A lot of people, what happens is they'll start doing their own music, but then they end up doing commercial stuff because they want to survive. That is what usually happens.
And that's the harsh truth. But, at some point you have to get in terms with that. That is reality. So that's what I was asking.
So I survive this way, like I have a thing which I do and I only make my own music.
So do you want to maybe give some info about your classes on, like how many students do you have? Can anyone apply for it? Does it happen via Zoom?
I currently have like 14 to 15 students. So they take 1 hour class a week. It's a 1 hour in a week, and so 4 classes a month, and it's working pretty good. As in, but the only condition is that the students should have a drum kit at home.
Right. So how
I teach it
I'm
here
just,
only, right?
Dude, I have a drum machine. Will that do?
Okay.
so because I'm just thinking of like, like having guitar classes is one thing, but how do you exactly teach like online with drums? Like you have to give us
Our
stuff. Do
guitarist
you
Hari
show?
teaches pretty well online guitar. He also teaches guitar online.
Okay.
I teach
So
drums
so
online.
so in the drums, are you also drumming along with the students, or you just ask
Okay,
them to play some?
so initially I'll only be teaching them in the pad, because for the drums, like the
Right.
drumstick pad. So for the drums, what we initially need is the coordination of the hands and legs. So we have to get that on the pad. Without doing that, going to the drum straight is a big mistake.
Fair enough.
So
Fair enough.
that's how I initially teach. Yeah.
That's cool, man. So, Abin, we've kind of like touched the 35-minute mark. I think we get about 40 minutes. So it's like a last kind of question down. I think my question to you would be, are there any Indian artists that you've been listening to? Has anyone's music caught your attention and you like to listen to? And if not, then what's on your most favorite kind of tracks that you listen globally also? That's totally fine.
Okay. From India, actually, it's less. Okay. I don't. The thing is, okay, me and Hari, we mostly like we make song and we listen to our own song. So we does that a lot. Other than the
favorite, you have to, you're mixing and mastering it. Yeah.
Not only for the mix and master, like once, even if the mix and master is not done, the very rough audio that we initially make, we keep on listening to our songs. So our main motive in that is we'll make a song one day, okay, and that night I'll take a bounce of it and we'll keep on listening to it. Then for the next day we'll have like 10 corrections to do. So we'll do that in the next day and finish off the song. And like I told, with other than the favorite artists like Aviel and even Job Kurin is one of my favorite artists. That is also from South. He's also in Kerala. So other than both of them, I don't listen to much Indie artists.
Okay. What about internationally?
Internationally, there are my biggest inspiration is Jacob Collier. He's like the god of music. He's the best ever.
It's scary how young he is, right? And he's so good.
He is too good. I can't speak about him. I'm scared.
Yeah. He and that lovely lady. What's her name? Rebecca something.
Which he recently did a video with.
He's done quite a few videos with her. I keep forgetting her name. She's like this amazing guitar singer songwriter who he did like a bunch of songs with Past Tub and all those songs. She and some songs with Snarky Puppy also.
Okay. Not aware of her.
Becca Stevens. Yeah, Becca Stevens.
Okay.
That's the one.
Okay.
Insane shit. Blew me away.
Okay. What I got inspired the most is by the Jacob Collier's 3 albums, Jesse Volume 1, 2, 3. So all of them were kick-ass. Like, and when he told about each of the albums, in an interview, when he told about the perception of each of the album, it was like clearer for me. Like he had one perception was of a guy listening the album from one room. The other was a guy listening to it from a live show. The other was a guy listening, as in he's playing with the band, like from the band.
Yeah.
So when he told that and I listened to it again, it was like crazy shit. I like went out of zone.
That dude is scary, man. That dude is
he's crazy, like pretty crazy. Yeah. So he is the like everlasting, like my all-time favorite inspiration.
Awesome.
So and we are also like trying to like bring a jazz element in somewhere of the point, like in some point of the song. Like in our like last released album ECSTATIC, in I think Mesmerize, Ecstatic, the song Ecstatic, and the one. So in all the three songs, the ending we were like making it jazz. Like behind the normal chords we put in, Hari was playing all the notes he could play as in jazz voice in the jazz progressions. Yeah. So that is all inspired from Jacob Collier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's
crazy.
cool. Akash, do you have anything to ask at the end?
No, I'm done actually. I can talk a lot about Jacob Collier and like some other guys, but I think it's up for another time.
It's better you don't talk about it.
Yeah.
He's out of the league.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think we can call it an end. But it was a pleasure having you, and then we'd love to have you again, where we can just maybe talk about Jacob Collier, or then just randomly talk about music.
Just chill, actually. Yeah. Talk about more 90s rock bands.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot, Abin. Wish you all the best. Hope Six Society releases much more music. I know you guys will. Looking forward to all the music, and hopefully we get to catch you guys live, especially if you come to Bombay or any other city. To let us know.
Get us a live show there once the pandemic's over.
No, I think we can make that happen. I think we can make that happen.
Get us and we'll be there.
You can only ask around. Yeah, we know some people. Might know some people.
Okay.
Not sure. But yeah, and totally try. It'd be great to hang out with you guys in person.
Cool, bro.
Hey, thanks so much for joining, Abin. Have a nice time.
Okay,
and
cool. Thank you.
Stay safe. See you soon.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Stay safe. Thank you. Bye bye. Good night.
Bye bye, guys.